In this section, we will learn about quadratic equation, and the equation is y equal to ax to the second power plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are real numbers, and a is not allowed to be 0. The graph of the quadratic equation has a special name parabola. And this graph has special points that we will go and review them. First of all, we will start with a y-intercept. We know that for any y-intercept, x is equal to 0. If you substitute 0 for x into the equation, you see that this term will turn to 0. This term will turn to 0. 0 plus 0 plus c will be equal to c. So the ordered pair for y-intercept is 0 and c is a coefficient from your original formula. To find x-intercepts, you know that y is equal to 0, and you have to use quadratic formula to find x-intercepts. And the quadratic formula looks like this. X equal to negative b plus minus square root b to the second power minus 4ac in all this over 2a. We will learn how to use the quadratic formula a little bit later. And the last point is vertex. The vertex can be minimum or it can be maximum. And to find the vertex, you need to find x first, the x coordinate. Again, we will use the formula negative b over 2a. And to find the y coordinate of the vertex, you need to substitute the value x that you found first and calculate the value y. Just by looking at the equation, you can tell if your parabola will be concave up or concave down. So you have to look at the coefficient a. If the coefficient a is greater than 0, then the parabola will be concave up. For example, y equal to 5x to the second power plus 3x plus 10. The coefficient a is 5, it's greater than 0, so the parabola will be concave up. When the leading coefficient a is negative, the parabola will be concave down. And again, to make it visual, we can review this equation, y equal to negative 3x to the second power plus 2x plus 1. The leading coefficient a is equal to negative 3, is less than 0, and the parabola will be concave down. Now we will review a couple examples. You need to find out, is this parabola concave up or concave down? And we have to state if the vertex is maximum or minimum point. Okay, we need to look at the equation. We need to find x to the second power, and we need to see the coefficient in front of x to the second power. If we don't see any number here, it means your coefficient is equal to 1. We always can put 1 here. 1 is greater than 0. So my parabola will be concave up because a is greater than 0. And when the parabola is concave up, the vertex will be the minimum point on this graph. Second example, we'll look at the term x to the second power. The leading coefficient a is equal to -3. Because it's less than 0, the parabola will be concave down. Because a is less than 0. And the vertex of this parabola will be the maximum point on the graph. Now we need to find the y-intercept and vertex algebraically. So as the equation is given to us, you always should start with a, b, and c. A is a coefficient in front of x to the second power. It is 1. B is a coefficient in front of x. B is equal to -1. And C is a constant, so it's -6. For y-intercept, we know that x is equal to 0. We will substitute 0 for x into the equation. If you want, you can use a calculator. So x 0 to the second power minus 0 and minus 6 will give you -6. So the y-intercept as an ordered pair will be 0 and -6. Because of a is greater than 0, the parabola is concave up. And now we need to find the vertex. So to find the vertex, we need to find the x-coordinate first. And we need to use the formula x equal to -b over 2a. So it will be negative. My b is -1. Be careful here. Over 2 times, and your a is 1. We know when we have two negative signs together, we will change it to positive. So on top we have 1, 1. 2 times 1 will be 2. And we will change it to a decimal. 1 over 2 is equal to 0.5. We find the x-coordinate of the vertex. Now it's time to find the y-coordinate of the vertex. So we need to substitute 0.5 into the original equation for x. When you substitute a number, it's a good idea to put it inside of parentheses. So let's calculate. And the y-coordinate of the vertex is -0.25. So the vertex is 0.5 and -6.25. Now we need to sketch the graph. We will use just 2 points. We will graph the y-intercept 0 and -6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So right here is -6. We know that a parabola will be concave up, and the vertex will be 0.5 and negative 6.25, so it will be right here. And we don't know x-intercepts yet, so we will just do it approximately. And my vertex in this case is the minimum point.